otro sitio, haciendo otra cosa. Dime que nunca habías visto mi cara. Iba en un tren. Hubo una explosión.
This is so exciting, Citadel. This you have designed this as a franchise, as an interconnecting franchise. But what sets this apart from other franchises is that this is built on an original IP. So you are developing a lot of original IPs right now, and you've been doing that for the past years. Is that in some way a way to counterbalance the way that there are so many reboots and remakes right now in Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, well, we believe, look, there's room for all. Like, Joe and I don't have a lot of judgment on where people go for storytelling or how they find stories. It's really just finding something that moves you. I mean, the fact that there is an opportunity now with Prime to make a story like this that's original, like you said, but also massively ambitious. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of companies that are in a place where they're confident enough to stand behind a project like that. And Prime has really gone all in on Citadel, sort of supporting it, not just this first iteration of the show, but several other iterations that will be coming soon from a variety of countries around the world.
That's great to know. That's so exciting. But before we go into that, I want to go back to the idea of interconnecting franchise in relation to your previous work. You've obviously done Marvel. How did your work in Marvel and that area of connected stories help you develop Citadel as a franchise?
I mean, Marvel was a grand experiment in storytelling. It was the first time anyone took different franchises and blended them together into a shared universe. You learn a lot from that. You learn a lot from the audience's response to that. People like immersive storytelling. I think that's why they responded so well to Marvel. We're trying to build an immersive world here, original world, which takes more time. You have to build it brick by brick from the ground up rather than having source material you can look to for inspiration for your stories. On top of that, we're also working with India and Italy at the same time. We're working with storytellers from each of those regions. And probably the coolest thing I think we've ever done in the business was we flew everybody out to Los Angeles to work together in a room. And we had this global storytellers room where everyone was exchanging ideas and bettering the world and the stories that we were going to tell.
How's that going to look? Like the different iterations, the international, how are they going to connect? How are they going to differentiate between themselves? How's that going to work?
We're taking a similar approach to how we thought about the Marvel that we did, right? So everyone is intended to be able to stand on its own, be its own experience, while at the same time having very interesting ways that it feathers into the larger narrative universe. Yeah. And we're trying to take a very original approach to how each different iteration can do that. So it's a hard question to answer without getting very specific, which we can't do that. We don't want to spoil anything. But it is all woven together while at the same time sort of standing alone.
So this is going to be probably a tricky question as well. Since you filmed partly in Spain, in Valencia, first season, is there a Spanish Citadel on the table?
There could be.
There could be.
It's really a function of as we move forward, finding the right partners in every region and people who want to tell a story in this universe.
Yeah. Well, filming in Valencia made a huge economic impact in the city.
That's fantastic.
I don't know if you knew about that, but a lot huge impact.
Awesome.
And a lot of shows have filmed there, and this is opening the market even more for huge blockbusters and movies and shows to be filmed there. Is that a factor that you have into account when you to decide which city you're going to film in? What are the factors?
I mean, that's part of it. I mean, mostly, it starts with the process of like, what's the story we're telling? Yeah. What location gives us the sort of most to work with in terms of how we're trying to explore the narrative or explore the characters, or if we have a specific set piece in our minds about what something we can build something around. It really builds there. And then, we'd like to go places where the community wants you, where the community wants to work with you, where they value what you're bringing, and they know that their resources can be very useful to you. They want to help sort of coordinate how those resources are shared to put up on the big screen. We also like going to places that have really good crews, that have depth of experience with filmmaking, because that makes the work that much better when people are very good at what they do. There's a lot of places on the planet that have really great local crews. I would say that. Anything else? I think that's kind of
And the food.
Yeah. By the way,
that's the real reason.
I thought you were going to say we were looking for places with really good food.
That's number one.
That's almost the first thing to be asked.
We are Spainophiles, by the way.
Yeah.
So yes, I spent a lot of time traveling to and from Spain.
Oh, that's great. That's great to know. Well, let's go back to the story, because I want to know, how do you build? We've stressed that this is an original IP, but there's so much of the classic spy films in this show, like Mission Impossible, James Bond, Man from U.N.C.L.E. How did you build that mythology with David Will? From a genre that's so set in its rules.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, Anth and I love genre, and we don't hide that fact. Like, we adore it. We're intertextualists. We like to talk about our influences, celebrate our influences, pay homage to our influences. And part of the fun of working in a genre that has very clear expectations is that slowly you can twist those expectations. You can surprise the audience. You can peel back the onion in ways. And I think the show is, by the time you get to the end of the 6 episodes, very surprising.
You've done big budget movies, huge budget movies for Marvel and for Netflix, and now for Prime Video, this show. How does it feel being handed so much responsibility and so much money to develop your own original ideas?
Yeah, well, I think, for us, like, the money sort of follows the idea, right? It's really just the way you support whatever creative idea you have to tell the show. So I think for us, the way we keep it sort of grounded and focused for ourselves is just we stay very focused on what's the storytelling. What are we trying to achieve? How are we trying to surprise ourselves as filmmakers and storytellers and our collaborators? How are we trying to surprise audiences? And then having a partner like Prime who's capable of, who really believes in the idea and who is also capable of funding it in a very healthy way if necessary. I mean, that's, the money kind of follows the goals.
Okay, just to wrap it up, I have to say I've been following you since Community. You directed some of the best episodes of that show, and it's been so great to see you getting bigger and bigger from that point, and seeing interconnecting the both worlds in the the Community and the MCU via cameos and all that. That was so fun, so exciting. It's so exciting to see you building new franchises and new properties. I don't know if you know that. Well, I know you know that there's a Community movie in the works. What do you guys think about that?
We are not involved in it, but we love that we're fulfilling the motto of Community, and I think the team behind it are all dear friends of ours, and we love the cast tremendously. I think that the Community fans are going to be very happy with what they see.
Okay, it was a real pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You're great questions. Thank you.
Solo es cuestión de tiempo.
Entendido. Ahora necesito tu ayuda.
¿Qué está pasando?
No tengo elección.
Él no puede enterarse.